Hey guys, it's Hey Dude. I guess I want to come back on here and do another video. This time talking about, I guess, Kristen Bell being casted as Amy Rose in Sonic the Hedgehog 4. Now, when I seen this, I was like, I mean, it's actually not a half bad casting, to be honest, because I like Amy Rose as a character, to be honest. And Kristen Bell, I'm somewhat familiar with some of the movies she was in the past, like When in Rome or something, I believe. But I only watched like a small bit of that movie. But again, it's like, I was actually kind of hoping, again, I'm not saying she's really that old. I was just kind of hoping they would have gone for maybe somebody just a little bit younger. Not too young, but at least a little bit younger. That's all I'm saying. But again, it's not really that bad of casting, that I'll say that. I mean, I guess I was just a little surprised that, they even casted her in the first place. Because again, I love the character of Amy Rose. Because, she's like Sonic the Hedgehog. To this day, one and only well, I guess not the one and only love interest. But, again, I guess her appearance was introduced in the 1993 video game CD for the Sonic CD console or something. But yeah, she's like existed for like somewhere around like I guess, well, more than 30 years now. So yeah, and I guess she was even introduced in the in the Sonic the Hedgehog manga called Shugoku Ninsei or something. I'm like, okay, I guess that's like a Japanese manga that I've never even heard of, from like 1992 or something. And her appearance, it's funny because like she just honestly, I mean, I'm not trying to be offensive or anything. She just basically looks like a gender swap version of Sonic the Hedgehog because, she's just pink or something. But yeah, again, like, she doesn't, at the same time, she don't look like she's changed all that much since 1992, but, like, again, honestly, and the thing is, what confuses me is, like, it almost kind of feels like Sega, or, the video games kind of choose to act like, Sally never even existed. If you guys remember Sally from the Sonic Sad AM cartoon from like way back in the 90s, if you guys ever really grew up with watching that. But I watched it a little bit, and I remember like kind of wondering, where is Sally? And I'm like, I know she was Sonic's love interest, way back in the day, but it's like, it just kind of seems like, Sega just kind of chooses to forget she ever existed, even really in the first place, which I don't even understand. Which I get that it's like you kind of shift your priorities towards one character, but it's like I don't understand why sometimes you gotta act, make it to where the character almost never even exists. But I guess Sally basically at one point turned into Mecha Sally, and I'm like, when did this happen? I'm like, I didn't know that ever happened at one point, or even it was even really a story-driven plot point, even in the Sonic the Hedgehog universe. At least I didn't know that. But in other things, I love that they, I guess, had Amy Rose and literally have the hammer. If you guys remember her ever using that, which again, that's like, I believe, because just from like all the pictures and cartoons and video games I've seen, that's like one of the biggest things that Amy Rose ever really carried around, or, one of the most iconic weapons she ever used in the Sega Sonic the Hedgehog universe. I mean, honestly, she wasn't ever really the one character I mean, again, it don't have anything to do with her being like a female Sonic the Hedgehog character, but again, I didn't really know this. But I guess, Kristen Bell at one point, she was like a pretty big, I guess, gamer back in the day, which I'm like, okay. I mean, I didn't even really know that, because I even looked it up yesterday when researching for this video. and I guess was indicated was a fan of the Sonic games or something, even claiming she was a successful or semi-successful Sonic YouTuber at 10 years old. I was like, oh. I'm like, I mean, was YouTube even really a thing when she was a kid? I don't even think so. But again, I mean, I grew up watching some of the movies that she was in, like Zootopia, You Again, Coup's Retreat, which some of those movies I did watch with my mom. That's the only reason why I know who she is to this day. But honestly, I mean, my fan casting was probably going to be Anna Kendrick as Amy Rose, at least in my opinion. I mean, I thought that would have been an amazing casting for Amy Rose. It's just like, I don't know, her, again, it's like her upbeat kind of characters, I feel like would have definitely fit in my opinion, fantastically well with Amy Rose, just from the fact that she played Poppy from Trolls, which I remember watching that movie, and I thought it was honestly, in my opinion, one of the best DreamWorks animated movies ever. It's like, it kind of feels like they used yarn and stuff to make that movie, even though it was completely animated. But again, Paramount has really been doing a whole lot of bangers when it comes to, you know, the Sonic the Hedgehog franchise. I just kind of hope, because again, I have a lot of good memories even from watching the first movie 5-6 years ago. And it's like, I hope they're not going to try to turn into the next John Wick or Fast and Furious franchise by popping out a 5th movie. Which I wouldn't be surprised anymore if they end up doing that. Because even though I love the Sonic the Hedgehog franchise, it might end up being too much of a good thing for maybe some fans. Which, I hope that's not even really the case. But anyway, I'll admit, I like the casting of Kristen Bell as Amy Rose the Hedgehog in Sonic the Hedgehog 4. I just hope they do good with whatever potential she might have as the character, and they don't end up wasting it to death. So, yeah, I guess leave a comment below if you guys want to. Subscribe, share, maybe. I'll see y'all guys there. Peace out.